And our next guest is one of the Venezuelans who experienced this scene firsthand. Maria de Los Ángeles Graterol is a journalist and joins us from Caracas, Venezuela. Maria, first of all, I want to thank you for being here and just ask you how you're doing.
Hello there. Well, it's been pretty difficult for me these days because, yes, I'm a journalist, but I'm also a Venezuelan who suffered the effects of the earthquake. And basically, my apartment is not there anymore. And I was planning to move to a new one by the end of the weekend. And now the building collapsed. So I'm just living in a friend's house right now. So it's pretty hard for me, but I'm super sure that there are thousands of people that are even worse in shelters because they are basically homeless. And well, that's why we're living here. Every day is super sad and super hard to see people in the streets waiting for non-perishables, waiting for drinkable water because some of them are still sleeping in the streets. They are sleeping there on mats or just on the floor waiting for some help.
Maria, can I ask you just about how this all unfolded for you? Can you take us back to that moment when those earthquakes struck?
Well, I remember that I was at home, I was in bed, and all of a sudden I received an alarm on my phone. It was like, basically it said like an earthquake is coming. And then I was like, we didn't know that we had that system. I didn't know that we had that system. And I thought it was a mistake. But then it was super crazy. It got super strong and everything was shaking. The walls were shaking. You could see the cracks on the walls. So I just took my backpack and I put my essentials in there, my ID documents and some money. And I got my cat and got out of there. Then I just waited for a few minutes outside the building and went to a square that is near my house. And then I took my car and went to another place to a different point of the city to check for my grandma.
And how is your grandma doing?
Well, actually, half of my family, they don't have a place to live anymore, mostly because the majority of them, they live in La Guaira, which was the state declared as the disaster area. It was very, very affected. The buildings in there, according to official reports, like more than 100, they disappeared, they collapsed, they are not there anymore. It's just dust. But since to the universe, I could say that my family at least is safe, which is the most important thing.
No, I'm so sorry for the struggles that they're going through. This is a really difficult time and you're experiencing it personally, but you're also experiencing it in your role as a journalist. You've been going to hospitals and shelters. Can you give us a sense of how people are doing?
Well, to be honest, it's very hard because in the hospitals, as you know, this is a country that was already facing a crisis. Like 68% of the population is living in poverty, and 32% more is living in extreme poverty. And of course, that crisis is also was also affecting the hospitals, in which you cannot find medicine. So basically, relatives and families have to cover what the state cannot. And when a person enters there, yes, that's true that there are so many volunteers helping and getting there with medicines and with things that are necessary to assist these people, but it's complicated. And you are outside when you are waiting in there in the emergency room, you see like a lot of people going in, and you see people screaming, crying because there are lists of the ones of people that are missing. So you see families checking name by name to see if their family is in there. And it's really, really, really depressing and sad see that, because it's like a crisis and plus another crisis. It's very hard.
We've also seen some scenes of amazing rescues, and certainly there is hope as the rescue efforts are underway. What are you seeing in that regard? Have you been able to get a glimpse of some of those rescues happening?
Well, I haven't seen them these rescue specific moments, but I definitely was in San Bernardino in the Moises apartment. That was one of the three that in that specific area of the city that is downtown was affected. And that was a building I was actually going to move in, and I saw that it was completely destroyed. So you sometimes can see the officers or firefighters asking for silence to see if a person can say their names and they can go there into the walls that are fallen and precisely try to get them out. It's like amazing because it is not just like the police officers or like the other agents. It's people like the Venezuelan people. They are all united. The force is incredible, and they are just trying to get as many people out as possible. Precisely because we know that here the resources are not like the ones that we need to get them all of them like super fast out. And yesterday when the rescue teams from El Salvador and Dominican Republic arrived. So in the meantime, Venezuelans, they were just helping each other.
We know that, there are aid workers that are arriving, humanitarian aid, rescuers, search and rescue personnel from all around the world, as you mentioned, coming in now to help as the clock is ticking on this rescue and recovery effort. What would you say, from your experience, is needed most at this point in time from the international community?
I will say that the most needed is precisely shelters, because we still see a lot of people in the streets, mostly kids, like children and elder, and that's very complicated for them because in there they don't have the facilities they need, they don't have food, so they depend on volunteers, but they are not there all the time, and of course it's really complicated. And we just see them in the places where they are. Some of them are in the squares that are open. And the first day, for example, it was raining almost all night. So I think that people right now, what they need is a place to go in and wait in a safe area at least.
So now that, you're dealing with this personally, as I say, also as a journalist, what do you do next and how are you coping?
Well, I actually think it's very hard for me as a journalist because when I talk to people and they say like, I don't have a house, I don't have a place to live. And I think like I see my situation reflected on what they're saying. But I have to be strong because those people are getting through harder things. And I just think that time will tell, because the important thing here is the solidarity of friends, of other relatives that are in different states and are trying to help too. So we just have to wait a little bit and keep strong and just wait.
Well, we are thinking of you and sending you our best wishes from Canada, thanking you for being on the program to share this experience, and so sorry that you've had to endure this. María de Los Ángeles Graterol is a journalist in Caracas, Venezuela. Thank you so much.
And see you.